Personally, I feel like using a toothbrush for edges in 2025 is diabolical, but I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're finally going to be doing a hair tutorial. Now, there's plenty of hair tutorials in my shorts, but I don't have any long form videos doing hair tutorials, and I'm a natural hair content creator. So today we're going to be doing this hairstyle that I found on Pinterest. Really cute for the summer, very cute summer hairstyle. And basically all it is like 2 buns at the top and half of your hair down. But before we get into the video, I just want to say thank y'all so much for 60,000 subscribers. Wow! Like, that is insane. 60,000 people subscribe to me? Y'all ate that. But on a serious note, I'm extremely grateful. And I'm gonna continue to go hard on YouTube, doing tutorials, vlogs, shopping hauls, of course, but also creating more of a space for conversations around natural hair. Because I told myself if I ever got a platform like this, I would use it to represent my community, speak on issues that deserve attention, and pretty much just be a force for good. But with that being said, let's jump right into it. So for a hairstyle like this, you're gonna need a few things. This is the gel I'm gonna be using today. Edge control, of course, a hard bristle brush, and a wide tooth comb. So let's take the bonnet off and get into the hair, guys. Oh my God, I'm scared. Ooh, okay, it's not that bad. Okay, period. No, my hair is like at its peak bigness right now. Let's get into it. Bow, bow, bow. Shake, shake. So the very first thing that we're gonna do is section and part. Because my hair is so much longer in the back, I'm really not afraid to part off a lot in the front for the ponytails. And I'm not too particular with it. I honestly gave up parting the back of my hair a long time ago. Because the back of my hair is honestly none of my business. And it's so big that nobody's really gonna see the perfect clean part. But the part in the front needs to be perfect. So the way that I do it, I just kind of section it. Okay, we're having technical difficulties. So the way that I section it off is short portion versus long portion. Before I do that though, I think I'm gonna get my part right. Because when I do this hairstyle, I do my part a little bit different. I just don't part it down the middle. I kind of like to do a slant, like a diagonal line as if it's gonna be a bang or a swoop. And it goes back diagonal until about the middle of my head. And then I continue the part back straight, just to give it a little razzle dazzle. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. And by the time you're done, it should look something like this. It looks a little weird right now, but trust, it'll look cute with the buns. So at the farthest point of the diagonal line, you're just gonna continue the part back straight for where you want the buns to be. Now I'm looking emo. So now I'm gonna section the ponytails off like I was doing before. Personally, I do my short long method, but if you're really like that, you can try to part the back of your head. I personally feel like it's unnecessary because the curls are gonna block the part, so why are you trying to get a perfect part in the back of your head where no one's gonna see it? That's just me though, I try not to overcomplicate it. So I'm gonna take one hair tie and just section that off out of my way. So now I'm gonna section this one off the same way. Just kind of looking at the length of my hair. This is pretty much the whole short front section. And I wanna add that sometimes people are scared to do swoops or asymmetrical parting because they feel like one ponytail will look bigger than the other. But the great thing about having natural hair or curly hair is that you can fluff it, tease it, and manipulate your hair to have a certain volume. So when I do this one, it won't be a lot of fluffing involved, but this one is really gonna determine how this one ends up looking, if that makes sense. So now that I have the section of the first bun that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the down section and put it in a hair tie. And when I section things off, I try to keep the buns really tight. I try not to have any loose hair near the parting I'm doing, any slicking or styling, because that will get annoying. Because if I have this bun facing out, then these curls could get into my part and me trying to slick it up into the ponytail, and it will get frustrating, trust me. So when you're parting your hair, especially if you have curly hair, try to keep the curls away from the parting or whatever you're trying to do, and keep the buns really tight and small. Don't try to be cute with the parting. Like, now let's get into this ponytail. So personally for me, my hair lays the best when I kind of mold it, if that makes sense. My hair responds really well to like water application. I try not to do too much product because it layers on my hair very weird. Like for example, if I were to just pull my hair back and slap a bunch of this up there, it's not gonna look cute. The gel will kind of sit on top of the first layer of my hair and everything under it will still have a curl pattern. Like it would just look like a crusty sheet of hair over lots of texture, lots of curls, and it just looks really crazy up close. So when I start styling, the first thing that I start using is a hard bristle brush and lots of water. This helps my hair get slick at every layer, if that makes sense. It's a thick hair person problem, like. Don't worry too much about how your edges look or where they're placed with this part, because when we get to the edges, they really have nothing to do with where the part is at. Sometimes I even use a rat tail comb to kind of sculpt my ponytail. Like the layers through my hair have to lay flat. So combing through it kind of helps the ponytails look more slick. So this is how the ponytail looks with just water. It's pretty slick already, but of course throughout the day, just water is not gonna last you. So now I'm gonna go in with my gel. I really only try to use a little at a time so the product doesn't build up and turn white and flaky. Like I said before, I have an issue with the gel just staying at the top layer of my hair and not slicking the whole thing. So a rat tail can kind of help the gel move through the whole ponytail. Then I'm gonna brush over it. Now if it's like super hot, this is the time where you can add a little Got2b or edge control at the front of your hairline right behind your edges. Just because that's a very stubborn part of my hair for me for some reason. I can apply gel throughout the whole ponytail. By the end of the day, that's the only part that always comes up. Probably just due to sweat, and when I move my hair out of my face, that's just the most affected area. But if you know you're gonna be active that day, like now is the time to do that before you put the ponytail holder on the ponytail. So now that I have it in my hand, I'm gonna wrap it as many times as it'll go. I would also like my ponytail closer to the back of my head than up here in the front, just because I don't want it to look so separate from the half down part. And I also pull it closer to the side than I do the middle, like near the part, just so the part can be seen, the diagonal line can be seen, like you can see the whole hairstyle if the ponytails are farther apart, if that makes sense. So this is what we have. Very cutesy. I'm not gonna make my bun right now because I want to figure out where this ponytail is gonna be. Because you might be thinking this is too far back or it's too far to the right. But again, the great thing about having curly hair, about having natural hair, is that I can mold the bun to be pretty much anywhere I want it to be. This is just kind of a general placeholder and area for the ponytail to be centered at, if that makes sense. So we're just gonna wrap it up super small to get it out the way so it's not in our way when we do the second ponytail. Now this ponytail is low-key gonna have more hair in it just because, oh my God, that looks crazy. This part is an extra layer that this ponytail didn't have. It needs to be extra slick. It doesn't need to look like a poof or just less slick than this side, because that's gonna ruin the whole thing with the asymmetrical parting. Sometimes I'll even lift up this part, the part that got brought over for the diagonal part, and spray it under my hair and mold this section first before I do this one. Because then it's just like, do a middle part if you can't handle the diagonal part. I'm gonna go in with the little gel. Don't be afraid to separate it, brush, separate, brush. It's really important that this ponytail is slick because that's what makes the diagonal worth it. Because it's slick like a middle part, but it still has the flavor of a diagonal part. And then I pull it one time. So because this one is already sectioned off, I'm gonna do the real bun on this ponytail first. And to fasten my bun, I'm gonna be using a regular size hair tie. I have small hair ties in here, but I feel like to feel secure, I'm gonna wanna tie it twice, and I can't tie the small hair ties twice. Also, you could fasten your bun with bobby pins, but I feel like one wrong move and it's no longer even a bun. Just fluff the hair as big as possible. Not too much, because I like my buns a little messy with like curls coming down and stuff. Not too super neat. I don't want it to look like a knot, a ballet bun or a donut bun. Like I want them to be really voluminous. So I fluff my hair and stretch it until it pretty much looks like a puff. And then I take a section and start wrapping it, and then add the larger section and start wrapping it. I try to hold a little formation, if that makes sense. But when you do yours, honestly, just look in the mirror and think about how you want your bun to look, like where you want the curls. Like, do you want curls coming out from the top or do you want them coming out from the bottom? If you don't want them coming out from the top, I would recommend that you pin the curls down with the bobby pin and let these curls get pinned down like this so you can have curls coming out from the bottom. So my bun is pretty cute, but adding a hair tie to it is gonna let me shape it a little more without worrying about the bun coming apart. So now I'm gonna pull some curls out. Really cute. Then I add a bobby pin for like one little part. You honestly just have to look at it and be like, cute, not cute, cute, not cute. Just fluff it to your liking. Because when I do the second one, I'm probably gonna start going back to this one to try to make them match. So they're going the same direction that they don't look like they were done by two different people. Let's get a close-up. Hey, get into it. It's a little fluffy right here, but I'm gonna get it right when I do my edges. First one is cute, so let's make the second one cute too. Just gonna do the same thing with the fluffing, just so your bun doesn't have to look small if you don't want it small. Because if your hair is fluffed, you can still make the bun look small. You just have to wrap it tighter. But if you want them to be big, your ponytail needs to have volume. So now that I have my puff, I'm gonna bring one part around just like I did with the other bun and move the hair around to my liking. That's pretty cute without me having to do too much fluffing. Again, I'm gonna put this hair tie down so I can really mess with it as much as I want without worrying about it moving. I just kind of hover my hand over the bun and stretch it over so it's not crushing it. Just like that. See how it's holding the hair, the bun at the bottom, so when I'm moving it and I'm fluffing it, I don't have to worry about stuff flying away out of it. Okay, get into the bun. This could have been its own little thing. Like just 2 high, small buns like that. It's even cute with no edges. This is kind of a vibe though, 3 buns. Don't get too caught up in making the buns completely identical because you can't even show me 2 curls in your head that are identical. So it's really not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be cute, like not too much matchy, not too much, you know. Before we take the back part down, let's do my favorite part. Yes. It really doesn't matter what brush you use to do your edges. Personally, I feel like using a toothbrush for edges in 2025 is diabolical, but I'm not here to judge. I'm here to help. So I use an edge brush that has a brush on one side and a comb on the other. Clearly it's been through some things. Some of the teeth on the comb are gone, but that's just all in a day's work. And I'm not gonna lie, my edges have already been laid multiple times this week. They're not fresh in the slightest. So for edges that already have product on them, I try to again utilize water. I'm gonna spray my brush and pull out the edges that I want. I want my edges to be low-key dramatic, but not too much because this is a slick back style. So if the end of the edge is looking all crazy because I pulled out too much hair, it's gonna make the buns that I worked so hard on not look slick at all. And we spent so much time making sure they were crisp. So I pull out just a little bit at a time. Even edges, I have to layer it. So I'm gonna do as much swooping as I can with the water and product that's already on there. Trust me, it's not the water laying my edges. There's already edge control on my edges. If I could lay my edges with just water, I'd be so much richer. Do you know how much money I spend on edge control? That's why my edges always look good. I mean, that's just the one thing I don't play about. Remember when you're doing your edges to swoop it into the ponytail and shape it with the comb part. See how I made the end of the edge, like the bottom of the edge look round into the ponytail? And this little flyaway, I brush it into it so it's not looking like a separate thing. Because sometimes edges can kind of get a little crazy on the end of them, but it's important to make it look like it's part of the hairstyle and not its own separate little thing going on in the front of your head. For stubborn hairs, I just continue to brush and brush and brush down so all the hairs are going in the same direction and there's no bumps in it. Then use the comb part to clean it up like that. I see a curl in my edges right now. I think that kind of stuff is cute. I don't really mind showing texture in hairstyles, like where I want there to be texture, if that makes sense. But if you want to keep combing it until there's no swoops and no curls, that's totally fine. And remember when I said the edges have nothing to do with the parting, I definitely meant that. Because this edge is gonna kind of like dip and dabble over here. And I'm gonna do a middle one that kind of dip and dabbles that way. And then we're gonna have another dip and dabble. And then we're gonna do side, side. So this is something separate. Like the parting has nothing to do with the edges. Like parting your edges is insane. Like your hairline is your hairline. So I feel like if this were a swoop covering my forehead, I wouldn't be trying to do edges right there. Because it's like, are we gonna have a wavy swoop trying to do like edges on the swoop? Like that's over the top. But because this is not a swoop, it's a diagonal part, I pretty much do my edges like normal. I don't want my edges to look like they're parted, if that makes sense. Literally as I was talking, the end of this edge kind of came up, but that's what the edge control is for. There was already product on my edges, so I really don't need to use too much. So I'm just gonna get a super small amount like that and dab it in the places where it's needed. Definitely the end and right here at the bottom. And then I'm gonna brush that in. Also, try not to make faces like I'm making, like I'm doing this little squint thing. It does not make sense to do that. See how I'm squinting and now I'm not? The edges is in a whole different place and they're not molded yet. So it doesn't need to be doing all that movement. So try to have a relaxed expression even though I'm not doing that. Just ignore what I'm doing. Listen to what I'm telling you though. Okay, so this is what my edges with one layer looks like. I think I'm gonna try to add one more layer just to make it a little bit more razzle dazzle. I feel like it looks a little boneless. It just looks a little boneless, just a little. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you understand what I mean? Like, I just feel like, why is that much of my forehead visible? That don't seem right. So I'm just gonna brush little by little, not messing up the bun, not messing up the part, and slick it with the swoop. I think that looks much better. I don't do baby hairs, I do edges. There's a difference. I'm gonna do the other side edge first before I do the middle edge because I'm still debating on whether I want to do that. Also remember, if you're gonna spray your brush, before you do your edges, make sure the brush is not too wet. When my hair gets wet, it curls up, obviously. But it will mess with the texture of the edge. It won't look slick like this, it'll have waves in it. Nothing wrong with waves in the edges, but that's just not what I want for this style. Make sure it's damp, but it's not soaking wet. Okay, period. I will say all that brushing definitely made this ponytail a little bit more fuzzy, so we are gonna need a bobby pin for sure. It doesn't look that bad on camera, but trust me. Right around here, it's getting a little crazy. So we're gonna bobby pin that. I'm gonna slick it back. Even this, I don't want any humps. I'm not gonna brush it though, because I don't want it to get overly frizzy. I don't want to add more product. It just needs to be molded. Like, it just needs to marinate, if that makes sense. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of oversprayed this one, because look at this one. Like, it's a little slicker. And this one has some texture to it, but it's okay though. Now I'm gonna comb out the hair from the side. Not too much. These hairs are naturally like super curly, so it'll do a little 1-2 on the end on its own, if that makes sense. So boom, I'm done with the edges. Okay, now I'm done, I think. Like, edges is my favorite part, but it's also the most aggravating part. It's just like constant movement. It gets to a point where you just kind of have to accept the crazy. I don't think I want to do a middle edge. I'm trying to like fake test it right now. Let me just test it. Let me just test it. Ooh, I love this so much. Okay, the moment we've all been waiting for. Ooh, it's so cute. So yeah, when you take the back out, just fluff it, pull it apart. This hairstyle is supposed to be big. Like, period. Like, what? Like, this turned out so cute. Just fluff it, play with it, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, guys, that's the end of this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. And again, thank y'all for 60,000 subscribers. Like, that is so crazy. I honestly cannot believe it. But let me know what tutorials y'all want to see next. And if you tried this hairstyle, let me know how it turned out. Make sure y'all follow me on everything. It's at Michelle Faleese on TikTok and Instagram. And let me know how y'all feel about this hairstyle in the comments. Make sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already to help us get to 100K. And thank y'all so much for watching again.